So Hove calls us, right? So Hove had reached out to Pimp once before, for a record. He had a record with Too Short called Just a Week Ago, and he had wanted Pimp on that record. And Pimp had just had a new house and had a full studio built in the crib. So he told him, say, yeah, we can do the record. Come on down. I'm in Atlanta. Come to the house. We'll do the record right here at the crib. You know, this is before Pro Tools and emails and, you know, songs are being sent over the internet or whatever. You had to physically take the reel from your studio to another studio or ship it, right? But this was in the middle of the East Coast, West Coast ship. So Jay was like, I'm not leaving New York right now. And Pimp was like, well, I guess I ain't leaving the South. So they never did the record. So time goes by. Jay has this record. Jay wants to reach out to us. So Chaka Zulu gives him my contact info. He calls, but the number is blocked. So when he's telling me it's Jay-Z, I'm thinking somebody playing on my phone. You know, so I hang up. Then they call right back, and I can hear Jay-Z's voice is one of the most distinctive voices in the world. Not just music, the very, very unique voice. I've never seen or been around anybody whose inflection and tone sounds like Hove. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm in the car. We getting ready to go to the show, and I'm like, "Yo, this nigga Jay, this nigga Jay-Z for real." And Pimp was like, "Oh yeah, what do you want?" You know. So he's like, "Yo, I got this record. You know what I'm saying? We want to fly y'all up to New York and get on this record, you know, and rock with us." And so Pimp's like, "Man, I ain't going to New York right now." Pimp's still feeling a certain way from the last song situation. I said, well, look, I'll come up, I'll listen to the record, I'll see, you know, what it's like. Because I'm like, yo, I want to go up and see, I want to see what these Rockefeller dudes is doing, because they popping at this time, you know. This is after like H to the Izzo. So Jay's pretty big right now. He's not moving. Yeah, he's not who he eventually becomes at the time, but he's still, Rockefeller Records as a unit is a very big deal. And so I go up, and you know, the whole time they just ask me about Jay Prince. That's all they want to know. They just want to know about Jay Prince. Dame and Jay, like, what's up with Jay Prince? How big is his house? And what is this and what is that? You know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to see if they're on the right path to being. Because for the longest, Jay Prince was that dude in rap. You know what I'm saying? And so I hear the record. The record's very different, right, from anything I had ever done. I do the record. I come home. I tell Pimp, you know, I did the verse. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna send the reels down here for you to get on the song. And so they send it, and Pimp hears it, and Pimp's like, I'm not doing this record. I'm like, why wouldn't you want to do this record? He says, because there's going to be a whole world of people that hear this record that never heard us before, and they're going to think this is who we are. And keep in mind, like I said, Pimp produced everything. Pimp created the UGK sound and everything. And so for him, he only wanted to be introduced to people in the way that he felt comfortable doing what he does. He didn't want there to be a misconception about who we were, what our music and our sound sounded like, or whatever. Because the record didn't sound like anything Jay-Z had ever done. This sounded like nothing anybody had ever done. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, we went back and forth about it, and he eventually was like, okay, I'm going to do the record, Bun B, but I ain't doing but 8 bars. All right, that's it. I'm not even doing no whole 16. I'm just doing 8 bars. And he eventually did it.
So he phoned it in.
And even him phoning it in is still one of the most, like, it's literally, well, for one, Big Pimpin' is Jay-Z's biggest record. Right? No record he released got more burn than that, charted higher, none of that dumb shit. Like, it's easily his biggest record, you know? And even when he performs it, it's a sing-along moment with the Pimp C verse, right? Like, when Jay does Big Pimpin' by himself, they don't even do my verse. They do his verse, they do his long verse, his second verse, and then they go into the Pimp C verse.
Right.
When I perform it, it's a sing-along moment. You know, it's one of the most known, most quoted, and most repeated 8 bars in hip-hop history.
And he phoned it in, and he just
like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it or whatever. No big deal. That's just the level of talent that dude had. On a bad day, phoning it in, he creates one of the most memorable moments in hip-hop history.
Fatman Scoop. Go to Fatman Scoop on Instagram or Instagram TV to see the full interview.